Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here. Brought to you by Play Alberta. If you've not yet downloaded the Play Alberta app, what are you even doing? Especially if you're listening to the Lock Shop on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, or that one glorious day 2 years from now where I get to say you're listening to the Lock Shop on Cruise FM. Wouldn't that be something? One day all the shows are on there. Anyway, if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Spency 5 cents, he says, I love a good big dumper thumbnail pic. I also enjoy pictures of big dumpers, and there's nothing better than Raleigh right now. How about that? 50 bombs, first catcher to do it, first position catcher to do it, primary catching, and then, of course, only the second guy to do it since Ken Griffey. When Eric was doing his updates today, I was a little surprised only 50 guys have hit 50 bombs. I was like, oh, that seems kind of low. I thought it would have been like 75 people have hit 50 bombs. We did live in the steroid era. But anyway, congratulations to the big dumper for doing special things. All right, Huss is going to join us. We got some EST specials that are already posted. I told you that early bird bet when they posted this morning at plus 182, I was like, get on this now. The number doesn't make sense. So hopefully a bunch of you got on it, because now it's minus 103. It went from plus 182 to minus 108. Now it's minus 103. So I think the Nasties just keep smashing this thing and keep working it down. But Blue Jays to win, Kirk with a hit, minus 103. And the early bird bet remains up from yesterday. Bombers plus 6.5, Argos plus 6.5, and Edmonton plus 7. That is 6-1. We'll come up with something today. Maybe it'll be Blue Jays, maybe it'll be NFL, maybe CFL. I'm not sure, but we'll come up with something today here. Excuse me, everyone. Before Huss joins us, my young Padawan over here, YouTube Trev, has been invited and will join Josh Clausen, his fantasy league.
That's me.
He's got 2 8-team leagues. He's a commissioner of both. He's in one of them. They basically had a 16-team league. He split it into 2. Is this your first foray into NFL fantasy?
Correct.
All right. So let's, before we'll bring in Huss here in a sec.
I'm going to be honest.
But like, what type of questions do you have, buddy? Like what,
well,
this is exciting for me.
I know the big players. Like I know all that. I know the big names. So I'm not worried about
But do you know it from a fantasy perspective?
No.
See, so
like position wise, like I don't know what the points.
You'll probably be that's
yards.
That's the thing.
I know that
points per reception probably. If you want guys who catch a lot of balls, you want running backs who catch a lot of balls.
Yeah.
I do feel like I need to provide you with some guidance this evening for your draft.
I definitely need that guidance.
I pretty much know where everybody goes in all of these drafts at all times.
Yeah.
But an 8-man is different. An 8-man means it's going to be deep. You're going to have a lot of good players.
That's
on your
what
team.
I like, baby.
So are you nervous at all?
No, I'm not nervous.
Are you excited for this opportunity?
No, I'm very excited.
I'm excited for you. Yeah.
And like, that's the thing. Like I'm not for sure for as far as football goes, I'm still learning the ropes. But like I've heard stories, sometimes the people that are maybe not the most knowledgeable in NFL fantasy sometimes win. I've heard so many of those stories. Like, oh, like my buddy, that he had his girlfriend draft and then, he won.
Oh yeah. A lot of it's a crapshoot. Yeah.
A lot of that. So I'm not nervous as far as that goes, but like, I know as far as the CFL draft that I know that, or the fantasy that Maddie's in and LT, they're like, oh, you've got this defense. Like, I don't get that. I don't know if that will be.
Yeah. But you see, you go online. So what I would do is, if I was you, I would just go on Google and type in Fantasy Pros PPR rankings.
Okay.
And then just go on there, browse around there a little bit, basically just draft off that list if you want.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably, in a 16-team league, I would probably start, or in an 18 league. Look, here's what I can do for you, buddy.
Tell me.
This is what I can do right now.
Show me the way.
So I will go, and we'll go to Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard, and I'll set up an 8-team mock draft, and we'll see what you can get here. Hang on.
Okay.
Let's see. So, start a mock draft. We're doing 8 teams. Let's just say you pick 8th. Let's say you pick last.
Okay.
Okay. This is going to be so juicy because I've been doing 12-team drafts. This 10-team thing.
It's a lot.
It's going to be, you're going to love this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm going to love your end result. All right. So you're picking 8th overall. Neighbors, St. Brown, Nakua, Collins is still there. Genty's still there. A-Chain Henry. So I would go.
Probably Neighbors.
Let's just see. We'll go. Yeah. Neighbors, he's always a little bit banged up, but I do love him. He'll be target hog. So just go Neighbors and then just take, let's take the rookie running back Genty and then see what happens at the next turn. So at the next turn, like Lad McConkey's there, Bucky Irving's there, Trey McBride is still there. All of the Josh Daniels is gone, but most of you're going to have a really good team.
Okay.
Like a very good team. I would not stress about an 8-man league at all in any way.
Yep. See my hat. Be clutch. I'm clutch, man.
You are. You're one of
my veins.
You're one of the most clutch people I know.
Thank you.
You're partially afraid of robots taking over the world or the office.
Yeah.
And your nickname on the show today became Dink for a little bit.
I got a few texts.
But for the most part, you're one of the clutch dudes I know.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that.
All right. All right. Let's bring in Huss here from Winnipeg Sports Talk. You know what? I will say this. My Juan Rincon Football League started as an 8-man. We're up to a 12-man now. That's kind of where I like to be. It's kind of the wheelhouse. But what do you think about young Trev, his first fantasy football experience, being a nice little 8-man league?
I'll be honest. I've never been in an 8-man league. That is so small.
It's tight.
Listen, there's going to be no shortage of good players. Like every team is going to be stacked. Kind of wild. They had a 16-team league and then split it.
Yeah, I'm in a 16-team league. You could make it work. You can make 16 work.
Yeah, but regardless of how the format is, it's always great to see someone make their first foray into the world of fantasy football. I guarantee YouTube Trev will never go back. He'll probably be hosting this program, being a fantasy expert in 2 or 3 years after a strong first year in the Josh Clausen league. Josh Clausen, he is the rapping weather guy, right?
Yes. Josh Clausen. He is Mr. Weather Alberta. Like, he is the best, and he's our buddy, but Clausen sets the standard for weather reporting in this province. And then he raps, and then he commissions football leagues, and he's the best. But yeah, that's Josh Clausen.
He sounds, as you know, I am a bit of an amateur weather nerd. If I wasn't doing this sort of thing, I would have loved to have, I think I could have had a nice, long, illustrious career at just telling people the weather.
Are you telling me, Huss, that we could get the old green screen set up and you'd be like, there's a front moving down to southern Manitoba?
That's a dream. Yeah,
how do you know what? Absolutely. That should happen already. The CFL players get to go on these weather things all the time. You know enough people. Go do the weather.
Okay, well, this is the funny thing. I had been angling for that with our old, this is now sort of 14, 15. We had a new GM that came in from out east, and he was running the operation for TSN here, but also CTV. And he loved me and Gary, and he basically let us do our thing. But we were out he took us down to Tampa one time with a bunch of clients. I don't usually spend a lot of time around this guy, but ended up being able to have a few drinks. And I said, hey, Mark, listen, when you need a live arm in the bullpen for that 6 p.m. weather report, you come calling to the Huss. He's like, "Oh, really? Okay, yeah, actually, yeah, that sounds good." And then he went back out east for something, and it never happened. So it is still a dream, but I have to say that Josh, from his appearances on the Nielsen show, and then finding out that he was a rapper too, might be. Again, I have limited information, but sounds like one of the more interesting weather people in the business. And his stock went even further in up in my books, knowing that he's a commissioner. We need more commissioners. Good commissioners are hard to find. So, but I'm pumped for Trev. He'll be. Let me ask you this, because I mean, I'm in a 10-team league, but it's kind of more a dynasty. I think pretty much any redraft I'm in is 12.
Yeah.
How does the 8, like such a small league, knowing at how many good players there are? I mean, I think you can really go in a ton of different ways. And
you know what I would do there, man? I would probably, really depends on how you view the quarterback position. Because if you want to get one of the top 2 or 3 guys, go ahead, but you could really wait on quarterback here. Because like the guys who are 7th, like Patrick Mahomes is probably going to last for quite some time. So what I would probably do is I would try to get Brock Bowers or McBride or Kittle in like the late 2nd, and then just hammer receivers and running backs, and then take a quarterback maybe a little bit later on.
Yeah, I mean, the other side of that would be with such a league that's going to have so many good players at all the positions, you really kind of have that top 4 quarterbacks and then a drop. I know you have Burrow kind of in that group, but if you just look at general tiers, if you don't have one of Lamar, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, or Jaden Hurts, how much are you playing catch up with the rest of the teams? And does that maybe make that like the tight end and the quarterback? That's the one. Those are the 2 positions where you've got kind of a top 3 and a top 4. Like if you could get if you get one of the top 3 tight ends, if you get one of the top 4 quarterbacks, my theory, I guess, having not played an 8-team league, is you'll have a big enough advantage at those 2 positions where there's lots of scarcity. There won't be the same scarcity of wide receivers and running backs, just because the fact that it's a smaller league. I mean, guys that would normally be starters on your 10th, 11th, 12th teams are basically going to be flex or bench players.
So let's see here. I'd set this up. Okay, so let's just go. We'll take a wide receiver, and then we'll take a running back at 8 and then 9. And then it comes back around to us. And if we just decide to go quarterback, let's go Jaden Daniels and Trey McBride. All right. So then you got a top 3 quarterback and a probably top 2 tight end. Okay. So you're start here in an 8-team league out of the 8 hole. Neighbors, Genty, Daniels, McBride. Now you go and just hammer wide receivers and running backs. So here's what's still available at those positions: Chuba Hubbard, Travion Henderson, James Conner, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans. And then this is the tier that I like, actually, in wide receiver. So Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Marvin Harrison. And then you get down to the Cortland Suttons, the DK Metcalfs, Tet McMillan, Calvin Ridley, Zay Flowers. Like there's that group there where you could just load up on 3 or 4 of those guys probably over the next little while. So yeah, it's not a bad idea. If you can start an 8-team league with Jaden Daniels and Trey McBride plus Neighbors and Genty, that's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty good get. So yeah, maybe that's the play. Maybe you move on your tight end and your quarterback in the first 3 or 4 rounds and then go from there. Huss, we got breaking news, eh? You see this? Okay. See this breaking news? Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged. They will be getting married. It was just a matter of time. But put on your Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce hat here. I know you've welcomed all the Swifties to the family in the past. How excited are you about this news?
Well, I'm excited. I'm very excited. As I said, it's the greatest love story of our generation. And what I'm most excited about, bringing it back to the lock shop, is that I have a pretty big bet with somebody that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will birth a child before week 6 of the 2027 NFL season.
That's the bet.
So
that's 2 seasons from now.
I have, the 2026 season.
Okay.
Let me just see here. I've got it. It's in the notes app.
So that would be next season, week 6, they got to have a baby, which means by.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. By week 17. So by the end of next season.
Okay.
Now, the theory is that this will be his last season.
Oh, and then it's daddy time.
Exactly.
Makes sense. We didn't start having kids till I was ready to leave ball hockey. So it makes sense.
I could see Taylor wanting to get married and everything before having the kid, but they're just old enough that I think they need to get working on it during the season. I don't know when she's going to tour for this new album. That's what's making me worried about it.
That should concern you a little bit. What were the odds on this? Is it just a straight up pick 'em or what's?
The guy was looking for odds. I ended up pushing back. We basically negotiated a week, but it was basically by the end of the regular season of next year's playoffs, and again, my base
regular season or playoffs. Are we talking Super Bowl or week 17?
At end of the regular season.
Okay. All right.
End of the regular season. So basically by the end of 2026, for all intents and purposes, that they will have birth a child, not get pregnant.
I like it.
The baby has to be out.
Okay. So it's not like, she's due in 3 weeks. You win the bet. This baby has to be breathing.
Yeah. Travis needs to impregnate her basically by the end of March
this year.
Safely, or say maybe mid-March. You never know. Sometimes babies are a couple weeks late. So basically by St. Patrick's Day. I
love listening to Huss talk about like you're a baby expert.
On the fact that it's a bet. Too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is all about.
Yeah, Huss is going to be monitoring.
They're going to have a baby.
Like, it's going to come out, Huss. And you're going to be like, what was the conception date? I need to know the conception date.
Well, listen, it all depends on when it's announced. Because, and you'd know this, you have to wait through a certain amount of weeks.
Yeah, you wait, we waited a couple of months before we told everybody. But you have to get through 3 to 4 weeks or something like that. But we usually.
The funny thing is, they won't have a chance to tell anyone. I guarantee you, if she.
Schefter will break this.
Oh, listen, you think Schefter has anything on the Swifties?
Yeah.
Schefty couldn't. Listen, he does great job with the NFL, but the level of detective work within the Swifties is on a whole nother level. I mean, the FBI should be hiring some of these Swifties that are breaking things down online for everything involving Taylor. But that's good. Listen, was there any details of when this?
Just some photos. There's no idea. I haven't seen anything on when the exact nuptials will be taking place. I know some people are suggesting a ceremony at the halftime show. Do you think she plays halftime at the Super Bowl this year, Huss?
Well, yes. And again, shout out to all the Swiftie detectives out there. I mean, all those references she was making to things like sourdough. I think I mentioned
on the podcast. Yeah,
there's a big long list of theories of how it all ties into her doing that. Now, I hope she's not able to do that because she's pregnant, which would mean
that's
sure cash for the baby bet. But anyways, it would be nice. But for the Chiefs, this is great. You know what? They got all this stuff done before the season started. They got her on the podcast. He's popped the question. Now he's out there to continue to add to his incredible legacy, hopefully with one more ring, and then Taylor will get her ring. So it's
quick
big
question.
Day in the kingdom.
Quick question, Huss. Waddy in Cloverdale says, does Taylor have to physically birth the child for the bet to be honored? He's talking about with all the different types of technology nowadays, is can they what if they have a surrogate carry the baby?
Listen, we did not go. If a baby is born and Travis Kelce is the father and Taylor Swift is the mother, it's a catch.
That's the bet. Okay.
I mean, if this.
So this is not a Travis Kelce has to clip the umbilical cord type of thing.
No.
This is if they're the father and mother.
Hey, if they want to test tube it or something like that,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not just, you give me a child where mom is Taylor Swift, dad is Travis Kelce by the end of next football season, and we got a winner in the lock shop.
Bronco Nick in the chat says they'll get married next summer, 2026. She will tour fall of 26 through summer 27. At best, you're looking at a 28 baby, Huss.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree that could be, but I there is an element. I mean, I wouldn't have made this bet if they're both 36 or maybe 37. And again, I am not the expert on this, but I do know, I'm pretty sure that it gets more difficult and more complicated for women the older that they are to have kids. So if this is a priority of theirs, they may get to that, and her touring schedule may need to take a bit of time. Who knows? Maybe she just did the biggest tour of all time. I mean, there's been no plan saying, "Oh, she's going out for the life of the showgirl" when it comes out. Maybe it's a few shows here and there. Maybe it's a special stuff. But I think there will be an element of family planning if they decide to go that way, which I bet they will. I have bet on it that it makes it happen. So here we go. I'm like, what does this do to the vibes around the Chiefs going into the season? Only, I mean, everything she touches turns to gold. So I think now that this is official, like, has the line moved on the Chiefs? Are they down to like 4-1 now to win the Super Bowl?
To be honest with you, man, I really didn't think about checking the line on the Chiefs, but I mean, we could take a peek and see.
I doubt it is.
I got to be pretty concerned about the sports betting industry if we're changing the line on the Chiefs. I see the Chiefs right now, Super Bowl winner at plus 810. Yeah. So
that's basically
it hasn't changed just yet
for the last little while. What are you seeing? What are the Super Bowl odds there?
Well, this is what I've got with our crew over at PA here. Ravens plus 660, Bills plus 670. Eagles 7-1, Chiefs essentially 8-1, Lions at 11, Packers at about 19, Niners at 1975, Commanders at 1975, and then it gets to the Rams, the Bengals, the Vikings, and the Broncos kind of in the next tier.
Interesting. So the Ravens are actually the shortest number right now.
Yeah, the Ravens are a slightly shorter number than the Bills. Yeah.
Yeah, I see Ravens and Bills just opposite there, and then Philly, Chiefs at 8-1. What was the number on Detroit?
11.
That's nice. That's as high as I've seen. I think
that's probably about right though. Like if I'm looking at Philly at 7-1 and KC at 8-1, I think Detroit around 11-1 is probably where they should be. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they were pretty
some unknowns there this year.
It's that's the thing. Everyone's kind of their numbers a bit higher because the coordinators have left. That is the basically the big story. Hey, just before you were brought in the breaking news, I was going to ask you, how are you feeling about Jonty? You just mentioned you took him. Are you high on Ashton Jonty this year? Where does he rank amongst your? Who are you picking ahead of him, and who are you taking him ahead of?
It is tough because I'll just lay it out there right now. I have always been, whether it's hockey, football, I'm a prospect and like rookie guy. I'm always a sucker for those guys. So I will kind of preface this by saying I might end up being a little bit too high on him, but as far as running backs go right now, Bijan is one. I still like Saquon ahead of Gibbs, but if David Montgomery didn't exist, Gibbs would be my first overall pick in all of fantasy. Like when Montgomery's not out there, Gibbs he's a super freak. Like it's insane. But Montgomery is still a thing. So I go Bijan. Like I'm looking at Fantasy Pros right now, and I would have a little bit different. They got. And is this average draft position or is this their rankings? This is their draft rankings. Bijan, Gibbs, Barkley, McCaffrey, Genty. And I think that's close. I would have Barkley ahead of Gibbs just because of the share. Now, obviously, Barkley loses some touchdowns to Jalen Hurts for sure. The Christian McCaffrey Genty one is where things kind of get interesting for me, because they're either having faith in a rookie who's expected to get a ton of work. And we've seen rookie running backs being able to make, usually there's one guy a year as a rookie running back that can make a big impact, sometimes two. And I think a lot of people like Omarion Hampton this year is a guy who could end up getting a bunch of workload. Or are you risking it on Christian McCaffrey that he can stay healthy and have the type of year that he's had in the past? So that's really what it comes down to me. And if I'm this, I have been, and this comes back to the bias I was talking about, but I've been in some spots where it's either Genty or McCaffrey, and I've been going with the rookie. I think I'm a little bit more scared of injury concerns with CMC than I am with inexperience concerns with Genty. You know what I mean? So I'm slightly leaning towards the rookie, but I have both of them. Like, to me, that's where it falls off. And A-Chain, I'm scared of the Miami offense, and I think he's a little bit banged up right now.
He's on my DND list.
Yeah, like it's just way too high of value for him. And then Derrick Henry's a stud still. I like Chase Brown. I like Bucky Irving. I like Josh Jacobs more than like Jonathan Taylor and Williams and those guys. But to me, it's three and then the other two.
So you have Derrick Henry after McCaffrey and Genty?
Yeah, I do.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I love Derrick Henry. He helped me win Spite League last year. But like at some point, it might slow down a little bit. He's a freak. Don't get me wrong. And I do love him. I would definitely take him. You know what? It hasn't come up to me just yet. Because usually in these mocks and some of the leagues that I've done so far, I'm in that 10, 11, 12 range. And usually one of McCaffrey or Genty are gone at that point. And then at that point, I usually would take, like, let's say Genty goes 9th. CMC, I consider the value there, but I love some of the wide receivers at the end of the first round. So I'd be looking at wide receivers, and then I haven't really had many chances to draft Derrick Henry yet, around that range, unless I wanted to take him like 7th or 8th, which from a production perspective, it might not be that crazy, but, not involved in the passing game very much. Lamar will take some touchdowns. But the dude is a freak. He really is. But no, I have McCaffrey and Genty somewhere in that 4 or 5.
Let's, because everyone's doing drafts this week and next week. Let's just stay on this for a minute. I want to hit you with a couple other guys to see where you're at on. What about Breece Hall? Now, Breece Hall's ADP is way lower than where. I mean, if you wanted to get him last year, you were probably picking him top 5.
Yeah, he
had a terrible season. Like, just this Fantasy Pros I put up, this is just their general running back draft rankings. He's the first name on the 4th tier. I mean, down with Chuba Hubbard, James Conner, Alvin Kamara. But after Walker, Hampton, Cook, Brown, Kyron Williams, Achane, and Irving in tier 3. Is Breece Hall a guy that you just don't want to touch? Or considering where he's being picked with a really juicy last place schedule, is he a guy that's going to be a big value for people that get him in the 4th round or wherever he's going right now?
I think, and it's funny you brought this up because we had this I popped in on the last 10 minutes of the hangout today, and they were talking about the Jets running back situation. So we kind of hit on this. To me, like if you're sitting mid to late 4th round, I think it would describe me as like reluctantly taking Breece Hall, because from a lot of the podcasts that I've listened to, and that's a lot of what I do. Like, I was driving back and forth to Lethbridge this week. I was listening to a ton of fantasy football stuff. There are some concerns about Breece Hall. There's been some trade rumors about Breece Hall. And everybody loves Braylon Allen right now. And Braylon Allen is probably being drafted like a round higher than he should, simply because people are like, well, something happens with Hall, or they trade Hall and they really like Allen. He could be a league winner. So I think what I would do, and this is probably why you're seeing him getting drafted where he is that if in a perfect world, if I knew I could get Braylon Allen in like the 9th round, then I would certainly pass on Breece Hall, take a Kenneth Walker or take a receiver, and then take Braylon Allen later and hope that he just replaces Breece Hall. So Breece Hall is bordering on not going to touch for now, but if the drafts continue to trend in the way they are and his ADP keeps moving down, you might be forced at a spot where you're like, damn it, he's too good a value right now. I got to take him and hope that that it works out.
See, I've been doing a bunch of mocks, and again, it's on ESPN, so often like how they rank things are definitely going to change. I find myself at these end of these drafts with a million rookies, because it seems like they're sort of undervaluing them there, and then they're there around a bunch of players, and it seems like a no-brainer to pick. But I will say this, like a couple times I've gone Chase number 1, and then usually a running back, and then I'll take one of the top quarterbacks with that 3-1. So say it's Allen or Jackson. So say I've got Jamar Chase, Bucky Irving, and Josh Allen. When it's coming back to me, 12-team league with the last pick in the 4th round, the first pick in the 5th round, I'm always needing another running back. And I have found that Hall has been a guy that's sort of fallen into that spot. Sometimes I've had a better option and I've gone a different direction. But if I have taken him,
Huss, did you say you have, let's say, Chase, Bucky Irving, and who else?
Josh Allen or Lamar.
Josh. Oh, one of the quarterbacks. Yeah.
Like I've used one of the quarterbacks. I've taken one of that top 4 group with the 3rd pick, the first pick of the 3rd round. So then you got to wait another 22 picks for it to come back to you. And at that point in the 4-5 end, Breece Hall has been there. So in cases that I have picked Breece Hall, I've made a point. To me, Braylon Allen, if you have Hall, might be the most important handcuff.
I would definitely try to handcuff him.
I mean, Braylon Allen is only like 21 or maybe 22 years old right now. He was the youngest player in the National Football League when he first came into the league. And for someone that's so young in that raw, it does take a little bit of time to really, I think, get comfortable with everything that is the National Football League. But he's an absolute tank, and certainly short yardage, he can get that done. So he could be good for touchdown, but I'm just not sure right now, as long as Hall's there, that there's a path for him getting more than sort of like 7 to 8 touches in a game. But the second that Breece Hall goes down, Braylon Allen's very live to be like a top 10 running back in any given.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you're drafting Breece Hall, whether it's 4th round or like early 5th, I wouldn't take him in the 3rd, but if you draft him in 4th or early 5th, maybe go around higher on Allen just to kind of cover your ass there. So as you were talking, Huss, I just hit a quick 12-team mock from the one hole on Fantasy Pros. Took Jamar Chase. It came back around. I had the choice between Brown and Bucky Irving. I just took Chase Brown. It didn't really matter. It was just part of an experiment.
Yeah.
And then I took Josh Allen, like you said, kind of go quarterback there. And then after I took Josh Allen, going back down in the 3rd round, Bucky Irving went 303. Jonathan Taylor went 304. Kyron Williams went 306. James Cook went 312. And then there was a run here. Omarion Hampton went 402. Alvin Kamara went 403. Breece Hall went 404. Kenneth Walker went 408. And when it came back to me, it was Chuba Hubbard, James Conner, like Travion Henderson in that group there. So Breece Hall late.
Given that spot, you've got one running back right now, and you've got Hubbard, Henderson, or who was the other one that was available? Conner?
Hubbard, James Conner, Travion Henderson, DeAndre Swift.
Everything I hear about this Travion Henderson out of New England is that he's a guy that could have a massive.
See, and that's why I keep getting sucked into these rookies.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I ran my other team by you, the one Rincon League team yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I had like Tet McMillan, and I had Matthew Golden, and I had Omarion Hampton. Like I get sucked into these rookies, and I know they're not all going to go. So what I would probably do here, let's just try something. Hang on. I would probably go, let's just try this. I'll go DJ Moore. Like, let's see if we take 2 receivers here. What running backs are left through your 2nd round? And let's just say Cortland Sutton. Those are the next 2 guys. So then the running backs that come back to you at 6-12 are as follows. DeAndre Swift is still there. So the other 3 guys went in the next 2 rounds. And then you get RJ Harvey, Pacheco. And then it kind of falls off to the Jalen Warren type. So if you go, let's say I took one of those receivers and then took Travion Henderson, it comes back around. Some of the wide receivers who are still there are like Egbuka, who I like, Jacoby Myers, Stephon Diggs. So I don't hate that if you go Travion Henderson to get your second running back and then still slot one of those guys in as your wide receiver 3.
Just quick note, Jacoby Myers has asked for a trade.
I saw he requested a trade. Yeah, they just brought in Cooper. He must not like Kenny Pickett. That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, no, you mean Geno.
I know, but they traded for Kenny Pickett yesterday too. So that's
the Raiders did?
Yeah. So that was the joke I was making there. But yeah, they traded for Kenny Pickett.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they traded for Kenny Pickett and they signed Amari Cooper.
All camp.
What's that?
Really?
Yeah, no.
All camp.
So yeah, Kenny Pickett got traded to the Raiders. Cooper got traded to the Raiders. Terry McLaurin signed and Jacoby Myers requested a trade.
What did the Browns get for Pickett?
It's a great question. I'm assuming probably not much, but let me a 2026 fifth rounder.
It's not bad for Cleveland. That'll get you another Shadur Sanders next year, fifth rounder.
There you go. Load up again.
Oh my God, Shadur discourse coming out of the weekend was hilarious. People are legitimately, with a straight face, going online and saying the Browns are actively sabotaging.
Of course they are.
Shadur Sanders, trying to make him look bad. I don't know if you saw any of his clips. The guy just cannot make a quick decision. He backpedaled. I think he had a loss of 23 or 24 yards on one of those plays. And for all those people, Dylan Gabriel actually looked half decent, stepping up in the pocket, which you have to be able to do in the National Football League. I mean, you can't just run around like he did at Colorado, for 6, 7, 8 seconds expecting somebody to get open. So I don't know, but I guess so. They go in with, so it's going to be Flacco and the 2 rookies.
That looks like I thought they had a 5th guy there too who has some experience.
They did, Snoop Huntley, but they released him.
Oh, okay. So Huntley's out. Yeah. Well,
so yeah, if Pickett's gone, then okay. So it's no longer 4 quarterbacks.
Man, I'll tell you, in a super flex league, I got no problem slotting Joe Flacco in as my QB too.
Oh yeah,
and you'll be able to get him crazy late. So something to keep tabs on if you're in a super flex
draft late.
What's that?
Well, I guess super flex quarterback.
Super flex,
say last pick of the draft late. Maybe not.
But even in a super flex league, you're still that's still a double-digit guy. Like quarterbacks are going to go fast, but you still get
Here's
Flacco
another
pretty
fantasy
late.
Question I'll hit you. This is like the fantasy festival.
That's okay. Football. It's that week, man. This is draft week. This is a huge week. No,
for sure. This is often great stuff.
We'll get to the Jays in a second. We'll look at the Jays.
I'm going to hit you with a few of these today. Quarterbacks, just based on what we were just talking about. So obviously we know all the big guys that are going to be going, but if you wait on a quarterback and you're basically picking quarterback late in a 1 QB league or super flex, you got one guy and then you're looking at the bottom half of quarterbacks. Who are the as far as just regular, we can go to like Fantasy Pros rankings. And I guess, and Fantasy Pros does the top 16. So of the group below, tier 4 below, guys that, will come cheap in an auction, will be available for a later round pick. Who are the quarterbacks that you like in the bottom half of that group?
So the bottom half of the 16?
Yeah.
Like 16 or lower, basically is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay, so are you looking at the Fantasy Pros one that has like Drake May at 16?
Actually, no, this is weird. I'm looking at Fantasy Pros. It's the Fantasy Football Draft Rankings 2005. And tier 3 finishes with Herbert, May, and Goff. Goff is 16. And then Jordan Love.
I'm just looking at their QB rankings. Oh, that's based on ADP. Hang on. Let me change this. I'll flip it over to rankings. I'll change it. Okay, Huss, give me that tier 3 then. Oh, here we go. Okay, now I got it. Hang on. All right,
between Kyler Murray to Jared Goff.
Okay, so you want somebody from that tier or below that tier?
No, below that tier.
Okay, below that tier.
that you might be confident, at least starting sometimes in a one-team league or being a second quarterback in Superflex?
I mean, for a second quarterback in Superflex, I mean, I kind of like all these guys, which is why in a Superflex, if like, for example, I'm doing that Superflex league next Tuesday, week from today, big boy league. I'll be picking Jaden Daniels 3rd overall. I will not be picking Kyler Murray or Dak Prescott or Brock Purdy as my second quarterback. I would rather use that range to get a wide receiver 1, a running back 1, coming back in round 2, and then going into round 3. Usually in round 4, I would probably wait and not take like a Justin Herbert in that situation. I would love if Jared Goff was around in round 5. But for what I'm seeing, for the most part, if I wait to the 5th round, you're looking at Jordan Love. Sometimes Drake May's there. Sometimes Jared Goff's there. But you're looking at that next tier where it drops off a bit. So Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, JJ McCarthy. I'm staying away from Tua. God, he has a great schedule, but come on. I mean, there's no chance he plays a full season. None. So outside of that, I mean, I found myself with Jaden Daniels from the 3 spot. And then I just keep hammering other positions. And then what I do at the end is I go out and I'll take Bryce Young and Penix. And I'll run 3 guys. I'll take those 2 young guys. If one of them pops, you're laughing. And if not, I mean, they'll both kind of be startable back and forth from week to week. So, you know, if I can't get both of those guys, then I'll mix in a Geno Smith or whatever. But I think the play is, because even as I do, and I've done a lot of these super flex mocks, you get to probably around 5th round and 6th round, Love, Lawrence, Stroud, JJ McCarthy, those guys go. And then from what I've seen in mocks, Bryce Young and Penix are sitting there in like round 9 and 10 still in Superflex. And at that point, I've got a stud quarterback. I've probably got at least 2, if not 3 running backs, at least 3 wide receivers, and probably a tight end. And at that point, my roster's full. The top 2 spots on my bench are pretty full. So I don't mind firing out a couple of darts on these young quarterbacks who might take a step in the right direction. And if that happens, then all of a sudden you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, listen, I think JJ McCarthy, if he's there in that, like the upside is the highest on him. Like if things go well for him in Minnesota, it could be a much different year than you normally have for a rookie quarterback. And I think having KOC with him, having that extra year to prepare for it, despite not playing last year and being hurt, is big. I'm definitely high on Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young and the Panthers are going to surprise some people. They might not win a ton of games, but I'll tell you what, I think that offense is going to be in a much, much better place this season. And the addition of Ted McMillan, I think, is going to be big for Bryce Young. I don't love the fact that there's a lot of smoke about Adam Thielen being traded. I think Thielen's really important to Bryce Young if they want to give him all the tools to really succeed. But it's wild. I mean, CJ Stroud is in that tier right now. I mean, if Nico Collins is healthy, I think that Stroud can absolutely
strong bounce back candidate, buddy, for sure.
I mean, to me, he's sort of undervalued right now. I mean, I don't know who, if you want to trust Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's crazy sort of that he's there. And then the other guy that I have picked like really, really late in some as like a surplus quarterback that I think might be startable very soon is number 1 overall pick Cam Ward in Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee is just the least sexy team. No one's talking about them, but he is shown so far, at least through training camp in the preseason, that there's a reason why he was picked number 1. So I'm actually high on him. And because of that, I've been getting a lot of Calvin Ridley stock, seemingly when I have
a bunch of Calvin Ridley. I love Calvin Ridley.
He's a guy that I sort of have. And let's face it, even if they suck, they're trailing, they're going to let their quarterback be out there, make mistakes or whatever. There might be some picks, but there'll be tons of balls being thrown out. And
right now, man, like I'm just looking at Calvin Ridley just to follow this up. He's 26 on the Fantasy Pros consensus rankings. Nothing against your Xavier Worthy, but I'd take him ahead of Worthy. I'd take him ahead of Ted McMillan, and I'd take him ahead of Devontae Smith. I'd rather have Calvin Ridley up by like DK Metcalf and Cortland Sutton as veteran guys who are clear-cut number 1 guys on their team, right?
Okay, like I'm even higher on that. Like I've been taking.
Would you take Calvin Ridley ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yes.
Terry McLaurin.
No, love Terry.
DJ Moore.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you'd have him up like low teens, 20-ish range.
Like if you're looking at that Fantasy Pros ranking of the tier 4, I think I move Calvin Ridley to the top of that group. Like I'm not sure there's
to the top of tier 4.
I think Garrett Wilson is better, but he's got Justin Fields throwing to them. I mean, there is a bit of a concern as to what that means. To be honest, I mean, like I kind of think that Ridley belongs in tier 3. That's mine. Now
with like Devontae Adams and Mike Evans type of thing.
Yeah, like I'd take him. I'd take McConkey first. I'd take T. Higgins first. If it's PPR, I'm probably taking JSN before him.
Would you take
Evans? Mike Evans. I think I'd probably take Ridley over Evans, despite Evans being the most consistent guy ever. Much like Derrick Henry, at some point, it's got to leave. Got to come back a little bit. And I don't even know what about Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is either going to be a value pick that wins people leagues.
Yeah.
With where he's going, or it's going to be a wasted pick that a lot of people go, oh, I couldn't help but take him there in the 3rd round and Miami did nothing. Although I think it's hard to imagine Tyreek just having a really underwhelming year unless he's hurt. Like if he's in games, he's going to get balls or he might get traded.
Yeah. I mean, that's always a factor too, right? So yeah, we'll see how that one pans out. Let's there's been a great fantasy segment. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. But Hush, thoughts on the Jays today? Let's put together a little something on the Blue Jays today here before we wrap.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely riding with the Blue Jays to win.
What we did this morning was we hit it yesterday. Just Blue Jays win, Alejandro Kirk hit. So we ran that back this morning. So we've already got Kirk in the mix on something. So what else are you thinking?
Well, the most profitable bet lately has just been hitting Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette total bases, Bo Bichette hits. Bo over 1.5 is minus 103.
Yep.
I certainly like that.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Let me just pull up this box score from last night. It was Kirk with the big bomb early on. Which is big night. And that Ryan had been having a really, really good season. And the Jets roughed him up pretty darn good. But Bo had the one hit. Actually, he didn't get it last night, which means he's even more due for today.
Bo Bichette over 1.5 total bases?
Bo Bichette over 1.5 total bases. And then who else do we like to... Looking from last night, Luke's had 2 hits. Springer was really good again.
Springer was good.
Springer has been so awesome. Vlad did get a hit. Only got a hit and 2 RBIs a little bit later on. What do we have for Vladdy numbers here, Dusty?
I'm looking at the the hits. You'd have to probably go 1.5 to get anything of value there. What do we got for total bases on Vladdy? Over 1.5 is minus 104.
Okay.
Could mix that in. We could also mix in, we've already got Blue Jays money line over 1.5. We could just go with do something chalky like a George Springer hit. Just add a little bit to it.
How about this? Bo over 1.5 total bases.
Okay.
Guerrero over half an RBI.
Vladdy over 0.5 RBI. And then Jay's money line.
Yeah.
All right. I like that mixing it out. Get them both in there. Jay's money line. Vladdy over 0.5 RBIs. And Bo Bichette over 1.5 total bases. Perfect. We'll send that off. It'll pop up on the old EST specials page. What's coming up on WST, buddy?
Well, we are going to be talking some Jays. Our guy Josh Goldberg from Blue Jays Nation is going to jump on with us. We'll have the latest on Blue Bombers practice. Darren Bombing from Bonfires down at the building. He'll join us to fill us in on Dalton Schoen's availability, Nick Dembski, all of the latest on.
They added those new guys to the practice roster, right? Like I thought I saw today.
They signed the guy. That probably sounds right.
Yeah. Kyron Moore and Cam Eccles.
So they'll be getting out there, getting some work. I mean, sounds like Stearns is going to be a bit, and I think that's sort of why they brought those guys in. The hope is that Dembski will be able to play and that Dalton Schoen will be back. So that will be, and I guess you're here all week, right?
No, I'm off Thursday, Friday, actually, buddy.
Thursday, Friday.
I'm completely off Thursday, Friday. My wife is going back to work Thursday, Friday. My kids aren't going back to school until Tuesday. So a nice little window here for me to just have like 2 days, no work with the kids and just do 2 daddy days. So we're going to just have some fun for the last 2 days of summer for them. So it's kind of exciting for me, actually. So
bring Marsh in, get him to make some picks.
I think they might be lurking. I think they might be lurking around today because I think she's dropping them off here. They're going to be hanging out for a little bit. So he might make a 2 guys appearance. We'll have to see.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Marsh for the big swim.
Oh,
3
man.
km.
3K, dude.
I was blown away. Like, what is that part of like swimming lessons or like a special? Like, I don't know. I remember getting all my badges. I don't think I ever had to swim 3 kilometers.
No, yeah, he's been going to this swimming club called True Blue here in Edmonton, and the 3 kilometer swim is like the final boss. Like, there's nothing else to do. He has to do an 80-meter medley, which will be a breeze, but like the 3 kilometer swim was the final boss, and he did it in like an hour and 17 minutes. Which was pretty good. Like he was 5-6 lengths ahead of most kids. He was, and then it was so funny because he finishes, and he's just exhausted. Like he's like, hey, and then he's like, oh, Daddy, I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. So I like yanked him out of the pool, like because we were walking along cheering him on as he finished, and I just sort of grabbed him and yanked him out of the pool, and he like collapsed in my like he was physically drained, man. It was a pretty impressive feat. He's a great swimmer, so.
Do you think you could take him in a 3 kilometer swim?
Oh, no chance.
Like, could you have done that in an hour and 17 minutes?
No, there's no chance. Like, there's none. Like, I did a 1,500 meter swim as part of like an indoor triathlon we did at the old place. And I mean, I was like normal for a bit, then I'd go on my back for a bit, and he's just straight up freestyling for an hour and 20 minutes. There's no way. I can't even beat him in a length of the pool right now, man. Like, the kid's a freak. So he's a very good swimmer. It's just a matter now of if like we want to commit to like a heavier swim schedule for him
to be a swimming guy.
Yeah. So we're kind of going through that process.
He's probably going to be tall.
He's going to be. I mean, minimum 6'4", I think.
So I mean, you look at like Phelps and all those guys. I mean, you know, if you get. I mean, swimmers are obviously super lean, and he's just a kid right now. But I mean, the actual frame of everything. Maybe we'll have a male Summer McIntosh passing the torch.
We were joking yesterday on the morning show, Marshall versus Summer McIntosh, but she gets ahead of him, and I dive into her lane and try to slow her down to allow him to get by.
Awesome. Anyways, congratulate him. Say hi to the kids, and
I will talk
to you tomorrow. So I guess we'll have to get in some Labor Day picks.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be at Boston Pizza, actually. A little live Belgian moon on the Lock Shop tomorrow, which should be a lot of fun. All right, buddy. Well, we'll talk to you then.
Cherry cola beef sliders.
Those are insane, man. That cherry cola sauce is nuts. That's so good. So good. All right.
Take it easy.
Okay, see you later, man. There you go. That is us. Oh, there you go. You heard him in the background there. Congratulations again to Taylor and Travis is what he rapped at. I love how he's on a first name basis with both of them. Somebody texted in because we're talking about like, when's this baby going to come? Blair in Calgary says, my wife was 36 when she was pregnant with our boy, and they called it a geriatric pregnancy. So they better get on it quickly. She's 35 right now. If they end up, Huss might have a play here. Because if they end up waiting 2 more years, she can be like 37. Tam had Elizabeth when she was 35. We had our kids. Yeah, we had our kids when we were 33 and 35. So I mean, they might want to, like, for health reasons, they might want to move on this. They might move on this pretty quickly. Maybe Huss can get a full berth by the end of next season, and then she tours the new album after. Here's an interesting one. Barry from United Sport and Cycle just texted me and says, Chase Brown for Malik Neighbors. Who wins in 12-team dynasty draft? I'm going to say Neighbors is better, but it probably depends on the roster setup. Because, I mean, if a guy's super strong at wide receiver, really strong, like let's say they have St. Brown and Chase at wide receiver, then I'd probably flip Malik Neighbors for Chase Brown. All right, so we'll get that Jays play up. That'll be up here right away. Hello, YouTube, Trev. You're coming in to wrap up. We'll get two guys going. So we'll have a couple of Blue Jays plays up. And then we'll sorry, everybody. We'll set up the Labor Day games tomorrow. At least my opinion's on it, and I'm sure Awanik, Glue Guy, whoever's in Thursday, Friday on Lock Shop will have a few more takes on it as well. I will say, I'll reiterate what Huss said. Congratulations to Travis and Taylor on their pending nuptials. Huge day. Glorious day. All right, that's going to do it for Lock Shop today. Thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck if you're riding with us tonight. Two guys coming up here right away. Who's there?
Oh,
who is it?
the Nielsons. The Nielsons are
my
here.
family's here. Oh, my son.
Your son.
I'm here. All right, two guys are coming up. Take it easy.